Hi guys, so I'm going to be playing in a challenge with a Stompy list. I think the challenges recently have been dominated by a few archetypes like Boros, Blue Black, Tron, and Elves. I think these decks are pretty complicated and they may involve some unpleasant play patterns with like fogs from Boros and Tron and a lot of free counter spells from Blue Black. And I think that the the meta could really use an aggro deck. I think not having aggro deck is the root of a lot of people's complaints. So I'll be exploring various aggro decks, I think, in the coming months to see if any of them are actually really good. So I decided to start with Stompy. Stompy has, traditionally it's probably the aggro deck with the best results. It has a lot of raw power. So yeah. So this is the list that I am currently testing. So I'll kind of go over. There are a lot of unconventional choices, so I'll kind of try to go over them. So first, starting with one drops, obviously 4 Korean Ranger. They're the best card in the deck. I feel like all Stompy should play 4. They allow you to trim all lane counts. They're really good. So I am playing 4 Pit Skulk. So Pit Skulk is unblockable. I'm actually playing lots of equipment. I was considering, well, I actually had cut Pit Skulk for a little bit because my theory was that it's a green creature, and green creatures don't do that well against Prismatic Strands from Boros. But Pit Skulk is actually pretty good against Prismatic Strands because the key to fighting Prismatic Strands is you want to fight it as much as possible outside of combat. Anytime you have to enter combat to fight Prismatic Strands, you're probably losing creatures. If you can just make it into a fog, you're fine. And so Pit Skull can frequently avoid combat, so Prismatic Strand's not that big of a deal. And it's good in other matchups. Like it goes past Augur, which is another big thing. So yeah, Pit Skulks are good. And then I have Blister Pods and Vault Scourge. So also Vault Scourge. So Vault Scourge is I used to think this was a fairly underpowered card. I actually still think it's a fairly underpowered card. It used to be very bad against fairies. It used to be good in the aggro mirror, but I didn't think that was big enough upside to play a lot. But I am playing them now. The difference is I think that Vault Scourge is actually quite good against blue black. And by quite good I mean pretty good pre-board and so post-board once they side in Shrivel if they do. So the key is that Vault Scourge is black, which means that you can just put Rancors on Vault Scourge without fear of having them be killed by Snuff Out. And the way the kind of like blue Cantripy decks work is that you should really expect to face every single hate card that they have because they're going to be really consistent at finding them. So basically, just having a safe creature to put Rancor on is a big deal. Also, it just flies over Augur, so and Gerbag. So yeah, I'm playing 3 Vault Scourge. It's bad against Boros, so I'm not playing all 4. It's also just a little bit underpowered in general. So yeah. Then I'm playing 4 Blister Pod. So playing Blister Pod instead of Young Wolf, pretty much only because of Devoid. So yeah, basically Blister Pod basically can't be Prismatic Stranded, and it may seem like this is only a one mana 1/1 creature, but I think it's actually any little bit of extra help you can to block strands, I think is actually quite big. So yeah, I think Blister Pod is pretty good. One feature of my deck is that I'm playing lots of equipment, so I guess I'll get into that and the interaction with Blister Pod a little bit later. So I'm not playing Nettle Sentinel. It's probably the biggest other one drop that I'm not playing. I'm not playing it because I think that it doesn't add much against Boros because it's another green creature to get that gets stranded, and against blue black it also it needs help to go through augurs or Gurmags. It just doesn't do that much. So yeah, I felt like they weren't doing much, so I cut them. Okay, so for 2 drops, I'm playing 4 Wild Mongrel. So I think this card is positioned really great right now. It's another safe spot to put Rancor because it's actually really hard for blue black to kill. And of course it could change colors to fight strands. So I think this is just a really well positioned card right now. I'm playing for Burning Tree Emissary. I was actually trying cutting down lower, under the theory that, just a 2/2, like the same thing with Nettle Sentinel, like a 2/2 doesn't do much against blue-black, and it's green, so it doesn't do much against sporadic strands. But there's a big difference between a 0-mana creature and a 1-mana creature, and Burning Tree Emissary is still part of your best draws. So I eventually went back up to 4. One thing that you could do is, so if you suspect that blue-black has Daze, don't play Burning Tree Emissary. Instead, play like another 2-drop, like play Nest Invader first. This way, if they Daze your Nest Invader, you still get the mana from Burning Tree Emissary next turn, so you can still double spell next turn. Something that might come up. So yeah, I also have some Nest Invaders. So this is just another kind of sticky creature. It comes with another creature, colorless creature. The colorless creature helps helps with Prismatic Strands, and frequently the mana can also be kind of important. So in a way, this costs 1 kind of. This is just a good creature. So yeah, playing 3 of those. I'm not playing things like Riverboa. Not playing Riverboa because it pretty much dies to all like blue-black spells. A lot of them shrink toughness. Not playing Ledgewalker. I think pre-board Ledgewalker is okay against blue-black, but post-board if they bring in Shrivel, Ledgewalker is pretty bad. And Ledgewalker also is pretty bad against Boros because like you might be able to combo like by putting a bunch of stuff onto Ledgewalker, but even then they still have a chance to race with Prismatic Strands. So and Ledgewalker is just a slow card in general, so I think I'd rather not go with that. So in general, I think actually I guess I'll take a moment to basically talk about like a lot of the synergy stuff. So I'm not playing Ledgewalker. I'm not playing things like Elephant Guides or Hunger the Hellpack. I think having a lot of synergy stuff and trying to rely on them to beat Blue-Black and Boros is kind of a losing battle, because I think Blue-Black and Boros, they are able to fight you early really effectively. So you might get a nut draw, you might not, but I feel like trying to just luck out with a lucky draw early against Blue-Black and Boros is like trying to flip a unfavored dice. So, and I think there's a more reliable way of trying to win that matchup. So yeah, so that's my spiel against Ledgewalker and things like Hunger the Hellpack in general. But yeah, I guess moving on. I have 1 Renegade Fader. This is an okay card, colorless to again against anti-strands. Also, it can tack straight up into Gurmag because it attacks at 5/4. It's okay. I think yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about it. It's an okay card. I think it's better than like things like Elephant Guide. But yeah, it's been fine in my testing so far, and hopefully you'll do all right. Okay, so I'm playing 4 Rancors and 4 Bone Splitters. So I think yeah, these are just in a way, Blue-Black and Boros do such a good job challenging your creatures that if you rely on like auras, they kill your creature and the aura attached, and so you get 2 for 1. Whereas Rancors and Bone Splitters, basically you only lose a creature, and I think you do need to pump up your creatures because there's so many things like Thraben Inspectors, like Augurs that you need to punch through. So it's you either use Rancors and Bone Splitters or use like things like Bouldervine Cloak or Elephant Guide, but I feel like those you frequently just get punished. Whereas with Bone Splitters and Rancors, they give you repeat value, and so they help you grind through Augurs and Threbens, stuff like that. For Vines, Stompy's best card, though I'll talk about an interesting plan I have against Blue-Black, which involves signing them out. But yeah, this is just Stompy's best card, or along with Korean Ranger, maybe, and along with Rancor, and Burning Tree Emissary, I guess. But yeah, have 4 of those. And okay, so I have 2 Longbows main and 1 Blazing Torch. So I'll talk about Longbow first. So Longbow, obviously good against elves. Probably the only way Stompy ever beats elves. But Longbow landing destroys elves so much that it actually pushes the matchup closer to even than you might think. Longbow is also good, obviously, against Fogtron, because you can just ping through their fogs. But okay, so here's the thing: Longbow is also good against Boros. So you have a lot of secret features. I think Boros, you can with Longbow, if the game goes long, you can do things like shift Longbow around and just ping repeatedly. And Boros actually isn't doing things that are that broken. Like depending on the version, like Bully plays some 1/1s, Monarch plays some 2/2s and 2/3s. Like these are not things that are like super broken. So actually you can like you put some pressure on Boros early, maybe like put them under some like pressure so that they don't feel free tapping out as much, and then you use that time to just like take over the board, just like Longbow wipe out the entire board, and you can kind of win that way. So Longbow this is actually pretty good against Boros. It's also pretty good in a way against blue black, because the way the blue black matchup works is that frequently basically they're trying to kill you in the air with Delver while trying to hold back a ground army with Gurmag and Augur. Yeah, basically they have a lot of removal, or they have some removal, but they can't possibly kill all the creatures you have. So in that situation, Longbow as reach is good. Also it kills Delver, so it's good that way. And for that same reason, Blazing Torch is also good against blue black. So Blazing Torch basically, the first clause, a creature can be blocked by vampires or zombies, means that Gurmag Angler can't block. So all you're dealing with is augurs, and with augurs, you chant a creature up and you can kind of just push through augurs. And the other half of Blazing Torch is that it can kill Delver. So yeah, I think this is actually a good card against blue black, and I'll probably be trying other aggro decks and also trying this card in them. Okay, yeah, so that's the main deck. And I guess go off the sideboard. So in the sideboard I have 3 more Blazing Torches. So I think my plan against blue black is actually to side out vines. I think they have things like Dispel, and trying to rely on vines to you try to rely on vines to push through blue black is, I think, is a losing battle. Basically eventually reaches a stage of the game where blue black will just repeatedly drop anglers, and so if you spend your time trying to trade through them, you're just going to fall behind. Whereas I think it's better to just dodge the anglers. It's so hard for the anglers to attack. You usually have a lot of creatures that can chump, and usually if they attack, like, they might worry about the counter swing. So yeah, I think Blazing Torch is good in that matchup, and I'll be signing out vines just because it's hard to use. I have 4 Scattershot, so this is clearly good against fairies, but actually I think it's also quite good. I will be signing out Vault Scourges against Boros and signing Scattershot Archers instead. So combined with Quirion Ranger, they can kill, Glint Hawks, even kill Core Skyfisher sometimes. They obviously do a good job clearing the tokens from Bully. And yeah, that's mainly it. Mainly their replacement for Vault Scourge. Yeah. I have 2 more Longbows. I probably won't be siding both in against Boros, and I probably won't be siding them against blue black, but I think this is the best hate card you can have against Elves. And Elves seems to be somewhat popular, so I want to have some hate against them. Oh yeah, by the way, Blazing Torch is also a decent card against, like, it's an okay card against Elves. Yeah, 2 Epic Confrontations here. This is also an okay card against Elves. I also will probably bring them in against Boros Bully to try to kill Seekers. So my plan of grinding out Boros, like, the biggest plan with that is getting raced. So having Epic Confrontation and Scattershot Archers to try to, like, try to kill their creatures like more reliably is good for that plan. Finally, for relics, mainly against Tron. Also good against things like Blue Red Delver. I won't be setting this thing against blue black. I think it's spending 1 mana or spending 2 mana to use this card is too slow. So yeah, that's the list. I'll probably still be tweaking this a little bit, but we'll see how this goes. In terms of matchups, I think I am pretty close to even against Boros, blue black, and Tron. A slight underdog against Elves. So I wouldn't say I broke the format, but I guess I I might be even a slight favorite against blue, black, and Boros and Tron. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, I think this is my first take on an aggro deck. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.